What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Curated Topics, brought to you by Curated Sense LLC. So, let's start it off right. We got Candle of the Evening. This one right here. And moving forward, I'm going to put up a challenge. If you watch this video, please subscribe. Once I get to 100 subscribers, I'm at 50 now. But once I get up to 100, I'm gonna show y'all the real pride and joy. That's gonna be the one of the best candles, one of the most fun candles I've ever made, and it was the first differently shaped candle that I made. So get me up to 100, please. All right. Anyway, candle of the evening. We're gonna go with this right here. This is the Prospero Tequila. Now, when I first tried this tequila, I thought it was pretty good. It's not that expensive, by like 30 bucks. If you don't drink, please drink responsibly. What scent we got in here today? It smells great. This scent here is the Bye Bye Bug scent. So this is one of our premier summertime scents. This is a signature for us over here at Curated Sense LLC. Summertime, everybody wants to be outside. We having cookouts, we going kickbacks, or you just sitting on the porch chilling, having a good time, whether it's by yourself, with your family, with your friends. Make sure you get one of these. Light this bad boy up about 15-20 minutes before you're ready to chill outside. Let it get a nice little thick thing of wax going. Pause and watch the bugs disappear. Bugs hate these candles. Man, I have a video up on YouTube and it shows where there are dead bugs in the candle, in the wax. They not on you, especially, I know y'all hate them probably more than I do, those mosquitoes. Keep those away from you at all costs. You know what I'm saying? And these are made with all natural essential oils. They were blended by a licensed aromatherapist here in Cleveland that I work with often. The company is called Aroma de Terra. I'll put that in the description box and I'll put that up in the video so you all can see. Check them out at aromadeterra.com. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, these right here, mosquitoes love me, okay? I'm a big boy, pause. Be outside, get to sweating a little bit, pause, and the mosquitoes come for me heavily. They come in packs, pause. They try to get me, and I did that for my boy Justin. He gonna have to drink a lot. Y'all drink responsibly. But the mosquitoes always trying to get me. I started making these, sit these outside. I light it maybe like 10-15 minutes before I'm really ready to, be outside. I don't get bit up. For real. So make sure you check these out. Check us out at curatedsense.llc.com and check out our IG is curated_sense_LLC. I'll put that up in the description as well. So some of y'all might want to know the recipe. Well, sorry, I don't have the whole recipe. I got a few ingredients. So this is a proprietary blend of all natural oils, and they're all oils it's a combination of oils and herbs that bugs hate, especially mosquitoes. So it's got some lemongrass, it's got some lavender, peppermint, and the rest are secret ingredients. I can't tell y'all. But check us out, curatedsense.llc.com. Get you one, man. Get you one. I'm trying to tell you, keep those bugs away. Summer isn't over yet. Summer is not over yet, and these bugs got a late start. I don't know if anybody noticed, but they kind of bigger or something. They more aggressive. Keep them away with one of these. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. All right, so we're gonna move into the first topic. I'm actually switching it up on y'all today. I had to talk about some music first. If anybody knows me, they know I love music. I gotta talk about the music first today, y'all. Let me tell you, Friday, so much music dropped. I'm not even done listening to all of it because I've been stuck on this Clipse album. This Clipse album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. Whew! I'm saying this album, I think it's gonna win album of the year. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's only been 4 days. I think it's album of the year, to be honest. At least so far, I have not heard anything better than this year. This album was a complete masterpiece. Lyrically, Pusha T. I already knew Pusha T was about to, come with the fire, because he rarely lets you down lyrically. But the return of Malice, man. I didn't even want to talk about this right away, but I have to. The return of Malice. Malice, bro, why did you ever leave? I know, you went and did your pastor thing. You went. Don't ever leave the rap game like that ever again, because you got things to say, brother. This was straight fire. I mean, it's rare where I hear a song where I'm picking like the other person's verse over Pusha T. They both were amazing. But I was just so impressed by the verses that Malice put down. I gotta say, this album, to me, I can't say that there are any skips. There are no skips for me. The one song that I've been skipping as I've been listening to the album over and over again is the song Ace Trumpets. And that's only because I low-key played it out for myself. Like, I already heard the song a bunch of times. So I'm like, no, I heard this one already. I almost know the words. I got to hear the rest of the album so I can know those words too. This album is great. They cover some real deep topics at first, pause. Talking about, the passing of their mother and father and how it happened, and it happening very close together, which I can't even imagine. I can't imagine going through that. But also, I commend them because this situation and them coming together and deciding to get back together and put this out and address those things with each other, you can really you can almost hear the healing that's going on. And I just really enjoyed being able to listen to it. It was like, man, y'all are putting this thing together perfectly. And from what I understand, this has been like an ongoing project, maybe for the past couple of years. And you can kind of tell just simply because of the way that it's put together, the song arrangement, the way the verses are laid out, just you can tell this is something that they took their time with, and they made sure that they got it right. They wanted consistent bars on every song. All the features were good choices, all of that. Back to talking about Malice. Man, Malice, it's a couple of songs where I'm just like, man, you got some of the hardest verses I done heard all year. But there's a specific song. The song is called So Far Ahead. It's the Clipse and Pharrell. Pharrell, he did a great job on the chorus, made it sound kind of gospel, and then they did like a beat flip for the verses. Oh my goodness. Let me tell y'all, when that beat flipped and I was listening to it for the first time, I made the meanest stank face ever, but I loved it. And Malice came on and he had this bar where he dropped Mace's name, not in like a diss way, but using him kind of as an example. And if anybody over at It Is What It Is sees this, show this to Mace, because Mace, you gotta tell the world what you think about that bar. You gotta tell the world what you think about that little line right there. Now, I know he wasn't trying to diss you or nothing like that. Like, I'm not trying to put that out there, but I want to know what Mace thinks about this song and what he thinks about Malice's verse specifically, and that line right there, because that line was hard. He talking about the grass is greener on both sides. I done been both Mace and Bethas. I was like, wait a minute, what? And then the rest of the verse continues, and it was just hard. I didn't do that line any justice at all, but go and listen for yourself. Drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think about it. I really like that song. Could be my favorite song on the album. I don't know yet. I'll get there. Let me talk about some of these features. Now, we all know that Kendrick was featured on the album. We all know that there was some drama behind his verse on the song. The song was called Chains and Whips. All of that. I like that. verse. I thought it was good. I don't think it was controversial. I didn't hear anything that would make me feel like it was controversial. I just thought it was Kendrick being Kendrick. But to be quite honest, his verse was great. I don't even care about his verse in terms of the totality of the album. The person who really impressed me on here was Tyler, the Creator. Now, why is that surprising for me, or why was I so impressed? I'm not the biggest Tyler fan, I'll be honest. Now, he's cool. He's got some good songs in my opinion. I like some of his verses that he does, but I'm just not like, the biggest Tyler fan. But this verse he did on POV, this is my favorite Tyler verse I've ever heard. This is my favorite Tyler, the Creator verse I've ever heard. I'm going to be playing this for a long time because this was a banger right here. It was a straight banger. And the thing I loved about this album is so much just bars. There's so much lyricism. It's really bringing that lyrical flow back to the game. There's always been lyricists in the game, but I feel like lately rap has been more about the club, has been more about the party scene, or just the simple lyrics, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, I like my party songs now. I gotta be able to turn up, but at the same time, like, that's not my everyday mood. That's not my all the time mood. And there's a lot of times where I want to hear more from an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear you dig deep and put a string of bars together. I want to hear you be lyrical. That's what rap is for. Be lyrical. This is no shot at the people who make party music or anything like that. Because like I said, I enjoy turning up. But this album right here, you could play this for me at the bar and I would not care that it was on. I'd be bobbing my head the whole time. This was just a straight masterpiece. Now there's another song I was really liking as well. It's called Inglorious Bastards. And it was funny because listening to the song, I was driving on my way to the gym. I'm listening to this song and I immediately was like, dang, I wish they had like a remake of Inglorious Bastards or something like this, because this belongs on the soundtrack. Like, could you imagine Brad Pitt saying one of his funny lines from that movie and then this song dropping? Oh, it was one of those like daydream moments where I'm like, I gotta go watch this movie now. This song was good. And it just goes to show they really took their time in creating a masterpiece. Now, I'm gonna talk about my favorite songs on the album. I was thinking the top 3, but to be honest, I like them all, but I'm gonna give y'all maybe top 4. When I got to like 5, it got hard to pick. So I'm gonna give y'all 4. And if you agree, let me know. If you don't, tell me what song you like. Drop it in the comments below. But in no particular order either. I'd probably say So Far Ahead is number 1. That's probably the song I've listened to the most aside from Ace Trumpets. This other one, MTBTTF. Listen to the song and you'll know what that means. But that song is hard. I like that song. It's real good. That's probably the one song where I'd be like, you might get away with playing this in the club or at a bar or something. That might be the one song. The other, number 3, POV. Tyler, you did your thing on that song, bro. Did his thing on that song. And the Clipse did too. Pusha T and Malice did too. But Tyler really impressed me on that song. And then 4, So Be It. Oh, that beat, it's got like a Indian Hindu sort of beat. Like that beat's crazy. Shout out to Pharrell. I think he did all the beats. If not all, he did most of them. Man, shout out to Pharrell, man. Pharrell, one of my favorite producers of all time. Just the way that he is able to take sounds and take samples and just create whole new sounds and all of that with it. Oh my goodness. Like, and he's worked with some people who you wouldn't even expect him to have worked with, like Gwen Stefani. Like, what? When I hear Pharrell, I don't think of that at all. But he has had a long lasting career, and he has just done some wonderful things in music. I shout out to him. Shout out to the Clipse. Now, when they were first coming out, they were working with Pharrell. If I'm not mistaken, they're all from the same city or something like that, or same state. All of them coming back together, it was just like it was almost like hopping in a time machine and going back to the early 2000s. It was so good, so well put together. So I enjoyed every bit of that. And I'm going to use the title of their album as part of the motivation. All right. So I'm going to put a disclaimer out. I'm not trying to, influence anybody's religion or force religion onto anyone. That's not why I'm here. But for the motivation piece, I'm taking the part of it as the title from the Clipse album, Let God Sort Them Out. This kind of resonated with me because, I've been through some things over the past year and stuff like that, and it's affected me. It's definitely affected me. You have to let God kind of sort out certain situations because they're out of your control. And you don't really need to seek to control them, because that's a waste of your time and it's a waste of your effort. You take your effort and you put it back into your work and into what it is that you want to do, and you let God handle the things that you can't control. And I thought that was a perfect title for the album, especially with some of the topics that they went through, but also as just something that everybody should be able to relate to. You can't control everything. You can't control parts of life. You can't control what others do. You can't control how others feel, and you can't control what they think. So in those sorts of situations, you got to let God handle that. You got to put that to the side. You got to keep working on what you're working on, and to make sure that you are being the best person you can be, and so that you can be successful. You keep the faith, and you remember that God is not going to put you through anything that you can't handle, and then you keep grinding. The other portion of the motivation is faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith that you want, and that's good. You need to believe that God will sort things out. But at the same time, you have to make sure that you're doing what you need to be doing, and that you're working so that when things do align up for you, you're prepared, you're ready to go, and you have something that you can stand on so that you can continue and be consistent and get towards your success. So how do you do some of those things? Well, the first thing is you have to have a vision. You have to have a vision of what it is you would like. So what kind of result do you want? And then what is it going to take to get to that result? What is it that you want to do? If it's start a business, okay, you want to start a business, but what are you doing? What are you selling? A product? Are you providing a service? What is it that you want to do? And you have to have a vision in order to know those types of things. So get a vision of what it is you would like to do. And some of that is based upon your interests. Some of that is based upon what you're good at. Some of it could just be, okay, what am I willing to do for a long period of time in order to get paid? You have to decide all those things and put them into a vision for yourself. Then, after you have that idea of what it is you want and what it is you want to do, you gotta take a risk and jump into it. You need to start learning about how you get to these different places. You need to start learning how to become a master in that craft, and you have to start doing it. A lot of times we have all the ideas in the world. I want to do this. I want to do that. It would be great if I could do this. It would be great if I could accomplish that. Oh, I know I got the skills, but then how many of us end up not pursuing it simply because we didn't know how to take the first step? That first step is probably the scariest. It is probably the scariest, and it's definitely the most challenging. When I was first learning how to drive, I learned how to drive on a manual. That means a stick shift. And The hardest thing for me to do during learning how to drive was go from stop to start. That first gear, that's the hardest part. Sometimes I stall out, sometimes I wouldn't even get moving. But once you learn and once you're able to make that first step, all the other steps become a whole lot easier, because you can look at it like this. Well, I'm moving. At least I didn't stop. A lot of us are most nervous when it comes to making that first step, because we don't know where to go. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know, well, what happens if I fail? What happens if I try and I risk it and I lose everything? What happens then? All those thoughts, all those doubts come into our head during the beginning stages of the process. You have to put those out of your mind. Or better yet, you keep them in your mind and you go against them. Okay, what if I fail? Well, you know what? If I fail, I start all over again, because I learned something along the way that'll help me and keep me from failing the next time. I learned something along the way where I can take that knowledge and apply it to something else. I learned how to go from stop to start. I learned how to say, you know what? I got to put myself out there. I can't, worry about, oh, what are people going to think about me when I'm doing my, creative thing. I can't think about all that. I just have to do it. You're not going to be able to please everybody, but the people who rock with you, they're going to rock with you anyway. They're going to understand that you are doing something and that you are doing something productive that means something to yourself, and they are going to support you. And guess what? If they don't, you know who they are. If your people don't support you, you know exactly who they are. But you got to take that first step. You got to be able to be willing to put the work in. The other part is you got to fall in love with the process. Everything is going to be a process. There is not going to be a single thing you do where you do it one time and you blow up Shuaik. Nah, can't do it. All of it's going to take some level of work. And as long as you can understand that, it becomes a lot easier to put the work in. When you're taking that first step, you know what the easiest part is? Taking the step after that first step. Because you look at it like, oh, well, I made it one step. Might as well take the next. And then after that, might as well take the next. It's one foot in front of the other. I'm about to age myself, but how many of y'all saw Nemo, Finding Nemo? When Dory came up talking about just keep swimming, we all laughed because she sounded crazy, but it's the truth. Sometimes you just got to keep pushing. Sometimes you just got to keep going. As long as you keep going, keep moving forward, and keep on the process, you'll start to find your way. Going from stop to start can be nerve-wracking. But guess what? Once you make that first step, once you get past those first few hurdles, you'll have so much more knowledge on how to proceed. So, I do the candles. Let me pull one back up again. And I went and did a vending event in my neighborhood. And we were setting up, and I'm putting my candles out and figuring out how I want to do the layout on my table and all of that. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to some vendors, once I'm finished, and we're waiting on people to kind of roll through the event. And one of the ladies was saying, oh, well, have you done a vending event before or anything like that? And I said, no, actually, this is my first one. And she said, oh, okay. Well, here's a piece of advice. Once you make that first sale, you'll know exactly what to do after that. That was probably the best thing she could have said to me, to be honest with you. That was the best thing she could have said to me. Because at first I was like, well, okay, well, how do I approach people? And, people are going to be walking past. I need to figure out a way to get their attention. I was too in my head about the situation. I'm over there overthinking everything, and nobody even showed up yet. Don't overthink yourself out of a situation. When I finally did get that first customer, they rolled up. Oh, what do you have here? What's this? What's that? They start asking questions. And as I'm answering questions, everything else kind of spoke for itself. They could smell the candles. They were there. They picking them up, smell. Oh, what scent is this? What scent is this? I made that first sale, and it was like a light bulb went off. I knew exactly what to do after that. The lady was right. I knew exactly what to do after that. And all it took was me getting through that first sale, that first step, and then I was able to keep the ball rolling after that. When I first got there, I was too worried about the setup. I wanted everything to look perfect and to be perfect. You're not going to have that situation. Nothing is ever going to be the perfect setup or the perfect situation until you build it that way. You're not going to start off with it being perfect. So what you do is you just take those first few steps, and in the words of the great KS, RIP, you build it as you fly it. You know, some of us get so worried about, oh, I gotta have this set up, and it's gotta look so great, and that's how I'm gonna attract everybody, when the real talent is yourself. So take that first step, let your talent shine through, and then as you go along, you build up the rest. And here's the most important part. Not only are people gonna rock with you, but that's how you're gonna be able to build up your clientele or your supporters, your followers, whoever, and they're gonna be able to see your progress as you built it up. So they can say, oh yeah, man, this dude started in the basement making candles. Next thing you know, he's got a whole warehouse. Now, I don't have a warehouse yet. I'm just using that as an example. But they will be able to see the fact that you started from the first step and then you worked your way up to greater things. As you continue to do that, as you continue to grind, as you continue to work, you keep the faith and you let God sort out the rest. If you have real talent, if you have real skill, and you're providing good services, making good products, doing good things, God will sort the rest out. So my next point is be consistent. Be consistent. This is something that's hard too, even for me. You know, my goal was to come out with a video every Monday, and I try. Sometimes, you know, I got a lot of things going on. I'm doing a lot of working right now, and I've been going to the gym trying to, you know, get my body right and all of that. And sometimes I'm just flat out tired, but I at least have been trying to get out a video at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. I'm trying to get, you know, them views up, trying to reach more people, all those sorts of things. But you have to be consistent. Don't just look for outcomes to be immediate. Don't just think, oh, okay, well, I did something once, so I'm going to blow up. Boom. Everybody going to rock with me. No. You have to understand that it's going to take a lot of work. You're going to have to build up what's called a portfolio. A portfolio is a summation of your work. It's almost like a resume. You're going to have a lot of things to show that you are a master of what it is that you do. You're going to have evidence. So the way to build up that evidence is to be consistent. Set goals for yourself. All right, I'm going to do this once a week. I'm going to do this twice a week. I'm going to market, you know, for an hour each day. Those sorts of things. I know people, I done met people out, and you know, I get to tell them about what I do, and I tell them about the candle business and stuff like that. And they like, oh, are you the one who messaged me asking if I like candles? And I'm like, yeah, that was me. But, you know, I got to do my own marketing, those sorts of things. I don't have a marketing team or, you know, advertisements, all like that just yet. But I've set goals for myself. I've said, okay, I'm going to market to this many people. I'm going to spend, you know, an hour on my phone sending out little messages, marketing here and there, making posts, doing this and doing that. And it's actually resulted in some sales. It's resulted in, you know, more support. It's resulted in all those sorts of things. I wouldn't have any of that if I wasn't consistent. I got some advice actually from Instagram. There was a post that they put out where it talked about how to grow your followers and things like that. And you can get different achievements for being consistent, literally for being consistent. You put out 2 posts this week, they give you a little medal or whatever. Now, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but it shows you that, okay, the more that you put in, the better your results may be. I'm not making any promises because it all depends, but at the same time, just by you being consistent. The people who do rock with you, they'll be like, oh yeah, I see you putting stuff out on the regular. I had somebody tell me that today. Hey, I see you grinding over there. I'm gonna have to get me one soon. It's those sorts of things that spark interest in other people. Now, it's gonna take some trial and error. You're gonna have some trials and some tribulations. You're gonna fail along the way. But how do you recover? What is it that you learn from those failures? Is it something you could do differently? Or is it a matter of you just need to try again? Sometimes you might fail because it's not the right time. But you go back into the lab, you get a little bit more seasoning. Shout out to Timbaland. On his show, he uses a meme from that interview from Offset and the one girl, I can't remember her name, Bobby or something like that. And he's like, you just need some more seasoning. Sometimes you just need some more seasoning. You just need to work a little bit more at it. When I first started with the candles, right? When I first started making them, they were cool, but I didn't feel like they smelled enough. They weren't pungent enough. And I had to go and I had to talk to some people. I had to look some things up online. I had to do some research and I had to figure out, okay, what's the ratios? What's the correct ratios that I need? And it got to a point now where, I've got some people, they still have their candles from years ago because they like, well, it just smells just by sitting there. It smells so good, I don't even want to light it. Please light your candles so you can come and buy some more. But, I get compliments like that now where it's like, man, these things smell so good. One person told me they could smell it through the box that it got delivered in. That's what I like to hear. But it took some work. It took some trial and error. I had to learn by doing. I built it as I fly it. I had to learn as I went along. And then, there's some sense where I don't want to over-scent them like that. I don't want them to be super strong like that. I'll give you an example. The peppermint. I don't use a lot of the peppermint. I had to lower that ratio because it was so strong, my eyes was watering. But that's something that I had to learn. That's something that I learned by trial and error. So, that along with being consistent, that's how you're going to be successful. And that's how you're going to be able to move forward. Now, my last piece of advice, market yourself. Use the network that you have. Talk to all of the people you know and even more people that you don't know. When I first started, I went and I marketed to all my friends. Literally all of them. They probably got annoyed with me for real. They're like, why are you telling me about candles, bro? What are you talking about? I told everybody, all my friends, all my family, all the people I kind of knew. I'm like, shoot, if you my friend on IG, I message you. But it was so that I could get the word out, so that I could gain some interest, so I could get some customers, so I can, keep the ball rolling. You have to market yourself and use your network. A lot of people, they not even gonna be mad that you do it. Some of them, you're gonna get a lot of respect from people because you're putting yourself out there. And then once you do get some support and things like that, get some feedback, get those customer satisfaction posts and put them up so that people can see them. A lot of the posts that I put up, it's not, some of it is, okay, I show you the candle right after I made it. But a lot of the times I ask my customers, hey, if you're able to send me a picture or a little video, something like that, just of the candle and tell me how you like it. And I use those things because that spreads to everybody who supports you. They see that people are buying your product. So they see that people are supporting you and they see that they like it. So make sure you market yourself. Use the resources that you have. Talk to the people that you know. Develop a network. Talk to even more people. Talk to people you don't know so you can expand your network. All those sorts of things are going to help you out when it comes to being successful, because you never know who can help you along the way. And when they see that consistency, when they see that you've been putting the work in, when they see your track record, they might see the very beginning. I leave all my photos of the candles up. You can see when they weren't that good. But guess what? They're a lot better now as time has gone on, because I've learned a lot more. Every step of the way, I'm trying to learn something different. Every step of the way, I'm trying to learn something new so that I can add that to the repertoire. I add that to the skill set. I add that to the toolbox. Just doing these videos. I got a surprise for y'all. Y'all ain't ready. I'm coming with some new stuff. We're going to have some new stuff on here. A way to engage people and things like that. I'm not going to tell too much because I just want y'all to see it. You build it as you fly it. You make sure that people see that you're being consistent. You make sure that people see you're putting in the work. And I guarantee they'll start rocking with you. And you'll start to see it as things grow. And this isn't just advice that I'm sharing for y'all. This is to myself too. Sometimes I gotta listen to the stuff that I say, because I have we all can get discouraged sometimes. But guess what? Even when you discouraged, keep going, keep pushing, keep grinding, because your work will pay off for you. All right, I want to thank all my listeners. I appreciate you all. Thank you to all my subscribers. If you are not yet subscribed, please do so. And drop some feedback in the comments for me. I like hearing constructive criticism. I enjoy all the feedback that I have gotten so far, and I'm gonna keep it going. One of my friends, she checked out the video. She told me I need to open up more and I need to be more charismatic and let my humor shine through. So I'm gonna work on that with y'all. Okay, upcoming videos, I'm gonna be working on that. So don't think I didn't hear you. Sometimes I try to just keep it smooth. I know I have a deep voice, pause, but I try to keep it smooth, not do too much, simply because I'm trying to get a point across. But I'm going to let some of this humor come out. But like I said, I'm sharing that because feedback is what's going to help push you forward as well. You got to listen to your listeners, man. But with that being said, I want to bid you all a good night. Hope everybody enjoyed the video, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.